Welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Daniel, and I'm actually standing next to our GLA45 AMG, completely ready. Should have been until this happened. I'm driving to a photo shoot location here in Amsterdam. It suddenly indicates to refill the coolant, I think, huh? So I immediately stop. We've made a whole line of coolant dust. We never saw this coming because we had driven the car for about 186 miles. So, nothing was wrong with the car today, which means a new challenge is ahead as we fix the GLA again. We've done some investigating into where the leak originated, because it seems to come from a thermostat housing. We also asked the dealer if it is often the case, and they say the thermostat is indeed quite familiar with this type of cars. So, if you pick up a thermostat housing at the dealer, you end up with... There are also 4 inlet rubber seals included, because you actually have to dismantle the entire intake, and that makes this plus so gigantically huge. By gigantically huge, I mean super labor intensive, and also quite expensive if you have it done at the dealership. And that's why, of course, we're going to replace the part ourselves, and we'll certainly take you through how much. It'll be quite the job, but why they would put that thermostat housing behind the engine? Nobody knows. Just now, the engine has been busy detaching various pipes, air filter housing, etc. However, I went to check if the thermostat housing is attached at the bottom, let's say. And what I see to my surprise is that a coolant hose is just loose. And this is a hose that's actually in a very tricky spot. It has been pushed off. This may indicate that the thermostat housing has been replaced in the past, but that hose was never properly mounted. It is now ask how we're going to get there, because the subframe is completely in the way, so they also advise to remove the intake when you want to replace the thermostat housing. I'm really relieved, but it's a tricky little hose, so it's going to be quite the struggle to get it on, I think. Like I just said, we had to make quite a bit of space to fit those hoses, secure from below. For that, of course, the exhaust had to be removed, because my arm actually needs to go through the subframe, and that's where the exhaust is. So to disassemble the first part of that exhaust, the exhaust section had to come off first. And once that was off, we were able to remove the second part from the subframe. This gave me room to put my hands through. After creating this space, I was able to tighten the hose clamp with a very long screwdriver. It's stuck, guys! Incredible. We've used a different type of clamp than the manufacturer did. The clamp that comes off was a pressure clamp. I'm not sure why it flew off and how that happened. In our case, we now have a swivel clamp on. That works much easier and allows you to secure it more easily. These clamps work quite stiff and heavy, but good news, the leadership is in place. What are we going to do now? We're going to lower the car. I'll reattach the intercooler pipes. The coolant pipes to the intercooler. Then we're going to catch it, fill with carbon fluid, to see if it's still leaking. After tightening the hose clamp, I decided to give it a good clean. So I sprayed it with brake cleaner and air to get rid of all the drips. If the drops return, it means it's leaking. I also put all the hoses back right away, so I can refill the system with coolant, and since I only have 2 or 3 liters of coolant on site, I've decided to pick up a 60-liter barrel, and hopefully, this is enough to fill our cooling system. Now we're going to see if it starts leaking somewhere again. Of course, with the right test, expensive exercises right away. It was crazy that when you just put a little bit in it, it immediately came out, huh? I think I lost more than 1 liter along the way. Yes, come on, think about it. Shall we start it? To be able to start the car, I decided to put the air filter box back in place. And of course, not to forget our ECU, because without an ECU, we obviously can't start. Just plug it in, screw the air filter box closed, and we are ready to start. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready for a cold start without an exhaust system? I am. Are you too? Then give a thumbs up and then... He does nothing. Not unimportant, guys. Securing a battery. Take 2. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready for a cold start without exhaust? It seems just a bit like it actually is. With this Mercedes, you have coolant refill options in 2 places. Under the engine cover, you fill the water-to-air intercoolers. And of course, on the right side, right in front of me in the car, cool off the cooling system with coolant, which cools the car, and here you can see neatly how the bubbles come out. The car has been idling for 5 minutes now. It's still far from being at the right temperature. The thermostat has to open too, so we're waiting on that. And if all is well, we'll naturally put the exhaust back on, and takes you for a last test drive. Hopefully it then works as it should. Really the last one. Subtitles submitted by the amara.org community. At the end of the series leaks, we find just a hidden modification to the car. That is actually a MagnaFlow exhaust system, guys. We just thought this was actually just a custom exhaust that was just welded together by a random person, and now, just as we're hanging it up, we see, hey, yes, he was pretty dirty. He wasn't as shiny as he is now, but there's just an extra option on it. Just so funny. So that's why, yes, we knew it sounded super good and that it wasn't an original exhaust, but this confirms it all. However, I am disappointed in MagnaFlow for not place a very nice card on the side of the pipe itself because it just stands out more. Just goes to show, it's written here too. Oh, sorry, is that it? No. Haha. Yes. With all this said, the bottom is completely ready again. Yes, just polish the exhaust because it deserves that now. So guys, we're going to lower it, make a test drive, and head to the wash box. Yes, and of course, to hold the beauty shows. The one I promised you last time. Of course, I made it during our breakdown on the side of the road. But now we're heading to the location where it is. Wanted to make more stands, so we'll take you along with the usual bangs we make. Let's go! Okay guys, we're just leaving the workshop and we'll do a full pull right away because we're still in the area, you know? If something shoots off, right? Yes, impossible because it's stuck with a clamp. Yes, that's true. I don't understand how... It's a kind of pressure clamp, actually a pinch clamp. It actually clamps itself around the pipe against the thermostat. You didn't drive through a hole or something like that. No, but they could all see that on the video, right? That's just a straight stretch. Okay, do we have a lead yet? Are you going to stop anyway? I'm going to stop for sure. And? Yes, engine's still there. What I do notice in this test drive, because you obviously took the battery terminal off, right? Yes, I guess it did fall off. Stood for 40 hours without a battery? Yes. But with me, the last time I drove, every time I drove away, it's like, he said, definitely a parking sensor fault. And it's not doing that anymore. So I think it kind of reset itself after the battery terminal was disconnected. So just learn that collision warning, and yeah, I think that car then. After this test drive, I thought the same last time, that the car was just ready and fine until at some point you lose the hose. I'm so happy that you're here for an hour to fix that hose. I didn't have to dismantle the intake, but I did have to loosen a lot around it. So for the same money, I could have taken off the inlet, and then I get to the thermostat housing and then I just see that the hose has come off. Yes, has this been done recently or not? Look, we called the Mercedes dealer, hello? There was coolant everywhere, so coolant can also make things shine clean. So a piece of plastic from that thermostat housing was also kind of new again. Brand new, you know. Yes, what is wisdom, right? Well, yeah, now that the snake is back in place, it shows no leakage. Exactly. Exactly right, isn't it? Yes. Look, it may still need to happen in the future though, the thermostat housing. Who knows, it's a known issue with the manufacturer, so just quickly rinsing off the car, taking it for a test run. Beauty shots, you guys over there, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Next to a project that is completely finished, It was a bit of a struggle today to get the car ready, but here we are. Differently assessed than expected. He's just flawless. Well, I wouldn't say flawless, but he's just performed well. Of course, it's a bummer about the coolant hose that was the last to burst. We just had a good test drive. We also installed a new set of mats, of course, because the little things do make a difference. Seeing it is a beauty, and we are looking forward to the new project that is coming up. Because yes, this is obviously not our biggest and final project. Want more content from us? Don't forget to subscribe, give a thumbs up, and let us know in the comments what kind of cars you want to see again. It's more from this segment, more exotic cars, more grocery cars, and we'll see each other in the next episode. Possibly the new one, or the Polo, or the Ferrari? I don't know. But I'll see you there anyway. Ciao. Ciudad.